My name is Johannes Widodo. I am from National University of Singapore. This building is a contemporary kampong house. It's a vernacular architecture facing south. The sea is over there. We capture the wind. Very big projected roof. And that projected roof is not just for solar panel, but also for rainwater harvesting. If you look into the plants that we planted there, it's all our native plants. And this native plants is very resilient because it's native. And second, it makes the soil better, softer for better absorptions. And third, which is the best, zero maintenance cost. It's very cheap to maintain. And this is a kampong. In kampong, we have the same thing. Even the plants is edible. Even you can get the food on your table taken from your own garden. So if you look into this green wall, you see that these creepers going up just within a few weeks. And this creepers doesn't need maintenance. The green wall doesn't need very expensive equipment, pipings and so on. Very easy to maintain and very cheap. And this kind of plants are everywhere in our kampong. We hide all the lift. Why? Because we want people choose staircase. In the past, in the kampong typology, we don't have lift. We don't have these electrical things. And by making people walking up the staircase, we able to reduce energy. We have a courtyard here, very high ceiling. So the air will move up, the hot air, and then it will be blown by the wind, horizontal wind, from the sea towards the mountain. And this able to create a cool environment. The temperature outside could be 33, 35 degrees centigrade. But here what you feel is not 36 or 38, but something around 24, 25, without air conditioning. And if we need a big gathering room, this is become multi-purpose hall. If you need a dark room, just pull down the screen to the ground and you have a room ready for 200 people here. So I think this multi-purpose space is also another features of a kampong situations. So we live mostly outside, not inside the rooms. But the outside space is not just private space, but it's also a public and semi-public space. And this flexibility of space create a very efficient use of every square meters of the kampong area. And on that veranda, you can see very clearly how we try to reenact, to make a stilt house look space. And when you look into these four pillars, it will remind us about the stilt house kampong typology. This and this is like a Chinese courtyard house, like our shop house typology. The courtyard in the colonial or even traditional or vernacular courtyard house has a function to create a stack effect. So the hot air will go up, and then by the horizontal ventilations, it will blow away the hot air. And this movement of the air from all directions is something that you can feel in a kampong, not just inside the house, but the space in between the kampong. You can see the tree canopies, you can see the horizon and the port. So that is the port city of Singapore. And also the new industrial, the port city in Tuas on that side. So from here, you can see directly the connections between our vernacular state house typology, our kampong typology, and the modern port city of Singapore. Why? Because we learned about the orientations. We learned about how we try to block the sun from east and west, how to capture wind, how to capture excessive rain, and turn it into something useful, not wasting anything. And that is the ethical principles of the so-called the kampong mentality. Communal living is important. We have the communal space here. This is an ideal space for our students to have lunch, to have interactions among their others, to have rest. And this is also the space that they can fall in love again with nature. But we prove it that it's possible to do a net zero energy building and even positive energy building. So now the Office of Estate have a vernacular building typology. Cross ventilations, self-sustaining energy. Then look into the other old buildings in campus. all the solar panels there. So it's become super low energy building now. And in the next round of renovations, it may become net zero energy building. And this is a way that we say to ourselves, Singapore is a port city kampong. Not because the form is like old kampong, but the old spirit of kampong. The ethics, environmental ethics, social, economical ethics, and cultural ethics is we carry forward into the present situations for the next generations to learn. Through these exhibitions, through the constant exposure into the good narratives and good examples. So everybody, all stakeholders understand how simple it is to achieve net zero waste, to achieve net zero energy, and also to be sustainable. So the connections between the past, the present, and the future is a basic tenets of sustainability. The things that we have today actually is not belong to us. The things that we enjoy today is given by our past generations. And then our mandate from our past generations to pass is on. Nature, culture, architecture, kampong, built environment, to the next generations in a good conditions. If it's broken, we have to fix it. If it's not broken, we have to preserve it. And that is the true spirit of conservation. Because conservation actually is not about nostalgia. Talking about kampong is not about aesthetics. But talking about kampong is to understand the mindset of our predecessors and how this good mindset can be taught to our our present generations, to our children and grandchildren, so they can survive and become a sustainable person for the future.